Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. I want to go over a post that's been getting quite a lot of traction recently, and I think it's incredibly relevant right now. It's part of funny, but also it's incredibly true, and it rings true for a lot of people. However, I feel like over the last few years, depending on how long you've been PC gaming and you've been a part of the Steam sales and whatnot, you may have gotten better at buying games that you are never going to play. But let's be honest here. As much as I make my videos, tips to survive the Steam summer sale and winter sale, we all still sometimes go back to the drawing board and we end up buying games that we may or may never play. During this Steam summer sale, literally as I am recording a video, I see that Pixel Junk Shooters is available on Steam, and I did not own the game. I played it back in the day on PS3, and it wasn't in my library. I'm recording this video, I'm like, oh, it's not in my library, and it's $1.79. I ended up buying the game right there as I'm recording the video. Let's be honest here. You guys want to take bets on whether or not I'm ever gonna go back and play Pixel Junk Shooter? Like, we gonna take bets here? Like, I might play it. There's a small percentage of chance I might go back and play it, but it's a game from my youth that I wanted to have in my library. They got my $1.79. Well, games industry analyst Chris Zakowski talks a lot about this in the latest post on how to market a game. Most people who buy your game won't play it is the headline, and PC Gamer has a nice write-up on it as well, and it's a lot of elements that we've covered on this channel quite a lot, but I think a lot of people have become aware of it. Like, back in the day in like 2012, 2011, 2012 was my first Steam summer sale. It wasn't that big of a talking point. Like, back then, the talking point was just, oh my god, you've got all of these great deals. I feel like over the course of the last decade or so, and especially as a lot of us have gotten older and we've had these games in our library for so long, we've come to the realization that a lot of these games that we buy, they just stick and end up in the backlog forever. So Zakowski notes, the amazing thing about Steam and its player base is that they buy games they aren't going to play. More than likely, the person buying your game is not going to play it. Zakowski notes, the reason Steam makes indies so much money compared to all the other platforms is that they have built up an audience that is full of super diehard hobbyists. Basically, hobbyists buy stuff not because they actually want to consume it, but because they are collecting it. And yeah, man's got a point there. Whenever you see these games, and that's why I think it is so beneficial, you guys, of Steam implementing this deep discounts page. I don't think the deep discounts page should be inundated, and if you don't know, every sale now, I don't know when they started doing this, but every sale now, there's a deep discount page where it's limited to about, I want to say 20 games, I believe it's 20 games for the summer sale, where these games are either matching their historic lows or setting new historic lows, and they're at ridiculous prices. We're talking RoboCop at $4.99, Steins Gate at $2.99, there's a Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy at $3.99, and a lot of the times, the deep discount page, these historic lows come at this sale, so the Steam summer sale. When it comes time for the winter sale, a new batch of deep discounts are going to be available, but those games that were deep discounts as far as the summer sale goes, they're not deep discounts on the winter sale as well. They're not hitting that low price point, which I think is a genius idea. I'm sure like all of these games will get back to this price point at some point, but actually creating some sort of novelty in each of these sales I think is so important, and Steam has now figured that out with this deep discount section. And I don't know how that dialogue is created, but in the case of this year's deep discounts, I think it makes all the sense in the world, because I guarantee you one of the most bought games as a part of the summer sale this year is RoboCop Rogue City. Whether or not people play it, it's 90% off for $4.99. That price is too good, and it does the added benefit of promoting RoboCop Rogue City Unfinished Business that's coming out. I know a lot of people are going to be picking up Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. These games are at such jarringly low prices that people are going to buy them. Steins Gate, $2.99. People are gonna buy that, and who knows if they're gonna play it or not, but this is a new area that Steam has crafted, this deep discount section. It may have been around for a while, but I've been covering Steam sales forever, and these deep discount sale deals actually set some deals apart from one another in the just sea of deals that are available in each sale. And it promotes Zakowski's point in the sense that these deep discounts, yeah, they're amazing deals, and a lot of people are going to buy these games to play them. Let's be honest, a lot of people are buying these games because the price points are so low, and the developers are going to rake in a lot of cash off of that, and there's going to be a lot of people that don't even end up playing the game, which I think is so smart. I think this is one of the better implementations that Steam has had because, you know, when you see the same discounts over and over again, you're just like, alright, whatever, it's this game at $9.99 again, that game at $4.99 again, but when you see a Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy at $3.99, a Steins Gate at $2.99, a RoboCop Rogue City at $4.99. Those are deals that actually make you go, wow, and that's a big factor that I think Steam has lost over the last few years, that wow factor that I think they've brought back at least to an extent with the deep discounts offering. And Zakowski notes in his post, Valve cracked the problem that Netflix was struggling with. How do you sell to people who have so much entertainment at their fingertips that they don't have enough hours in the day to play and watch all of it? Valve basically added infinite hours to a gamer's day. It's a theoretical future where gamers might someday spend hours playing your game. But let's be honest, they won't. And it is so true, and I think where Netflix and Steam is a little bit different is that Netflix is a subscription service. There is no ownership, and I get it that you don't really own your games as well. You own these licenses, or you have these licenses, but you see your library go. That is a personalized library. That Netflix, your subscription service, that's not your personal library. That is Netflix's library that you have access to of rotating options. That's the same thing as Game Pass. Like, people will jump into Game Pass for the new release and whatnot, but that's why the churn is so high. With Steam, there is that added element, and it's not like it's a overwhelming majority of Steam's player base that are these hobbyist collectors, but there's enough of them where they're buying so many games that Steam is just raking in so much cash, and even if indie devs are losing out on 30%, man, the exposure and the audience that Steam gives you access to is just so valuable. Like, let's be honest, are people really going out there and building their library on Epic Game Store? I will say this, there is that element of building your library on GOG. I absolutely see that, and that is the most valuable quantity that you can have out of any storefront, out of any platform, and that is an investment into the platform where you want to build your library on that platform. Steam wants that, GOG wants that, Epic Game Store wants that, PlayStation wants that, Xbox wants that, because that means that those platforms are just gonna passively make money off of you from doing nothing, just cultivating and crafting this storefront and this platform that you put value into, and that's what Valve has done with Steam, and I do give a lot of credit to GOG because they have done that as well on their platform. Not to the same extent, and they don't have the same, audience as Steam does in terms of quantity of people on the platform, but they are doing a good job, and again, that is the ultimate quantity you can have on any platform. The reason game developers are willing to give Valve 30% of their revenue is because the Steam marketplace is packed with super gamers who throw money at games they have no intention of playing. It doesn't even matter if they have any intention of playing. You know, I don't think anybody really buys a game with the idea right off the bat that, oh my, I just want this game, I'm never gonna play it. Like, no, I bought Pixel Junk Shooters with the thought that, hey, that'll be a cool game to go back and play, but now I think about it, I'm like, I'm gonna keep the game in my library. I mean, it was $1.79, but, like, let's be honest, you guys, am I gonna go back and play Pixel Junk Shooters? Like, let's be real with myself. Let me be real with myself for a second. Like, bro, I got like 80 billion, I still haven't beaten First Berserker Kazan. You think Pixel Junk Shooter is gonna go into the must-play category? Maybe it will. When I'm like 50 years old and I'm like, yo, I gotta go back and play Pixel Junk Shooter. Maybe it'll happen. I don't know, but it's not gonna happen anytime in the near future. At least I don't think so. But nonetheless, Zakowski continues, Steam players get satisfaction out of finding a hidden gem and adding it to their collection. Absolutely true. That's literally what happened to me with Pixel Junk Shooter. I'm like, yo, this game's on Steam. Let's go. I gotta add that to my library. And then I also saw that Shatter was available on Steam, and I went to buy that. You know what happened with Shatter? That game was already in my Steam library. Like, oh my god. This is literally the thing that it's just comical when these things happen, but these things literally happen to me this past summer sale with Shatter and Pixel Junk Shooter. Hobbyists find satisfaction in collecting even if they know deep down they will never play it. And yeah, maybe deep down, if I really thought about it as I was buying Pixel Junk Shooter, you know, like, let's be honest, I want to go back and play it at some point. It's just, man, there's so many other games to play. If Steam shoppers were rational and only bought games they were gonna play, we would sell a lot fewer games. Half this industry would be gone. And I don't know if half the industry would be gone, but I do think there is also that element of people building their library, and maybe they don't think about this aspect, but you know what? Reinvesting into the business that they love and buying indie games, you know that ultimately it's going into the pockets of at least hopefully a indie studio that's passionate about their game, or developers that are passionate about their games and supporting games. Like, you're not throwing money at I don't know, like a microtransaction heavy game, and you're just buying a ton of skins. At least this is going back into gaming as a medium, and hopefully that'll incentivize other games. Like, you're putting your money, at least you could convince yourself that you're putting your money into the future of gaming and more games to be developed. But nevertheless, I do just find it humorous to talk about something like this, because it's been a story that I've been talking about on this channel for so long, and I think there is that notion in the, at least in my audience, and when I read the comments, of people being more selective about the games they buy, because nowadays, it's not even about games being at historic low price points, and yeah, the temptation is there to buy it, but then they end up being baked into humble choices. They end up free on Epic Game Store, free on this platform, free on that platform, that it does behoove you to be a little bit more selective. And ultimately, even if a game is at its historic low price, it never goes any lower in price, and you end up buying the game, did you really get a deal on a game if that game is a game that you're never gonna play in your lifetime? You didn't. You didn't, because you ultimately got no value out of it. But this is the world we live in right now. I just think this is a funny topic to talk about. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Let me know if you can be honest with yourself right now. Did you end up buying any games from the Steam Summer Sale that you don't have that you think that there's a chance you might not play in your lifetime? Like, be honest with you guys. Let me know in the comments section down below. And if I'm honest with myself, Pixel Junk Shooter, I don't know if I'm ever gonna end up playing that game again. I did play it on the PS3 back in the day, and that's why I did give it a mention in one of the videos, but yeah, in the standpoint of will I get into it anytime in the near future. I also did pick up Stella of the End. It is a visual novel with an overwhelmingly positive reception. It's $7.99. This game is received really well, and I do want to check it out here. You know, that's a game I hope to get to at some point, but we'll see if I ultimately do. But those have been my pickups: Pixel Junk Shooter and Stella of the End. So keeping it a little light these days, you know, not trying to go crazy, but nevertheless, that's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, as always. And as I'm looking at my friends list, and the Stella of the End page on Steam right now, somebody I know actually picked up this game as well. So how about that? You know, small world here. But that's a game that, you know, maybe some people will find interesting, a new visual novel. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.